Okay, we're here with our 1950s Grumman 17 double-end canoe Scout. I'm going to pull her up to the carriage house to work on a little rudder adapter, a fitting for the stern. Trying to figure out how I was going to do that without having to carry her 70 pounds or put her on a dolly, and this little cart presented itself. Skipper's little garden cart, which just so happens to be painted in the same paint scheme as the Scout is. So I thought, we like things that are multi-purpose and utility. Let's give it a shot and see if it worked, and it's worked pretty good. So we'll get it the rest of the way. Canoe cam. Now this fitting we're going to work on today is supposed to be a little adapter that just kind of bolts onto the stern here through this bolt hole. It'll have a couple of gudgeons on it, and the pintle for the rudder will go through that. So cart's a success, so I would call that a success. We tied it up towards the forward end, so it would kind of, the back part of the cart would just kind of trail behind it, and it went around several corners and across some gravel through the yard. We'll spin you around current state of the carriage house while we're here. Zips on the finishing dolly for some repair. She got poked in the bottom with a swivel cam cleat from Madison while she was in the storage container. So we've been checking that and probing around a little bit to see what's actually busted and what's, this is just kind of sheared off here. Still good solid plywood right there, but this little piece will have to come out. That little piece is just kind of pushed in, but all around it's in pretty good shape. At first I thought I was going to do one big repair. Now I think I might just do two separate areas. We'll have a bigger plate that's going to go in underneath, and then on top of it we'll have a nice cutout. We'll make these edges nice and square. We'll make it's called a letterbox repair, to fit inside of it. Screw and glue those together, stick them in, pull them back out, pull it tight with some thickened epoxy, let it dry. Fair sand, prime sand, paint sand, paint, and she should be all ready to go. Should only take a couple minutes. But we took some calipers and measured this plywood. It's good 3/8 inch marine grade plywood, and we're going to trying to source that right now locally. If not, we may have to order maybe a 2x2 sheet or 2x4, have a couple of sheets of it sent to us somewhere. So right underneath here, about that far in, is a frame. I think that might be the forward frame for the cockpit. So that's good and bad. That means there's a lot of support right there, but we'll have to be real easy on the trim here, so we don't trim back too far, get into the frame that's underneath. Probably even be able to see it right there. So we don't go too far back, and also give a little area for that backer patch to latch onto. This little part of the hull is a little section like that, not structural per se. A lot of reinforcement with the frame here up in front of the dagger board, the actual dagger board trunk, the keel longeron up on the top, the deck longeron. So pretty solid. Just patch it up so we can go sailing again. The Zip needed a leak check anyway. It's got leaks coming in from somewhere, potentially the dagger board trunk, or maybe along one of these seams, or a keel batten. But when she's all fixed back up, we'll pump a little low pressure, low volume air in there and get and fix any other leaks while she's here. Oh, well, it could be potential leaks back here. I think there's another spot up front where the little keel strip was supposed to go. We'll go up there and look at it. That has not been put back on yet. So there may be, we filled these. I haven't sailed since we filled these in, but there were several holes here. And what these holes are for is there's a little 18-inch, 16, 18, don't quote me, metal strip that goes on there. Let's see if I can get it down. Messing up too bad on the camera. This little piece right here, this old one came off a chip. So that's going to go back on. Actually, we're going to use this new shiny piece and get it bent and fit for zip. Spin you back around. Little plug for Total Boat. They're going to send us some thickened epoxy. We asked for the wood colored epoxy. We want to see how that it's tinted. So we want to see how that looks on a repair on a wooden boat. May potentially make some repairs easier for some folks out there if they're not having to sand, or they don't want to sand if they've got a bright finish. So what we're getting ready to do next is take this. This is a full-size printout of a picture of what the gudgeon looks like, but then actually it looks a lot like a real piece in photos. So the two little pieces for the pintle to go through. We'll dig into the fiberglass kit and we'll try to make some pieces like this that fit on either side of this stern cap. So when that piece goes on, it'll fit just over the top. So I think what we'll do is we're going to make just the inner layer first, and not worry about the holes or these gudgeons. We got some gudgeons in the mail today. Make that first to be the inner layer, and then try to figure out how to incorporate, fiberglass in the next. With the next layer, put the gudgeons in there, make it all one component. So we're going to start playing with some fiberglass and some epoxy.